Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Today I'm going to be going over things that I don't think new players to Wizard101 will make use of. Now if you're an old player, there's honestly some things in here that you might not even know that I think is pretty useful information sometimes while playing the game. Most of this stuff you're going to know if you've played the game for a long time, but it's just things that I think new players really need to make use of that they definitely don't make use of enough, and it can either leave them behind or make the experience of playing the game a little bit harder. So, first things first. This is something I've championed since the beginning of time, and I will continue saying for as long as I can, and that is to do side quests. Please do side quests. Maybe don't do all of them, but certain side quests go along with the main story so easily that they're just free XP. For example, this one, Livia Dawnwillow, right? Oh, I didn't mean to accept that. Okay, wait, no, this isn't the quest I was talking about because I already done the quest. Basically, she has a quest right at the beginning of the game that is defeat skeletal pirates. Well, the main quest now includes defeat skeletal pirates, so it just makes sense to pick up that quest so you can get both done at the same time. I will stress this over and over again. It is so useful to get that free extra XP. Literally, it's free. You know, you get, because it's not like you're doing any extra work. It's literally the same amount of work you were doing to begin with, and you just get more XP. I think it's definitely a very useful thing to do that I would recommend doing. So that's one. That's that. That is my first tip to you. My second tip is going to be something that, in my opinion, will probably help you a lot, is if you don't have a mount, you can actually buy a mount from the crown shop for gold. You don't have to spend crowns. If you didn't know this, and you come down here to this section, you can see there's actually a solid bit of mounts that you can buy for gold. You can buy this chestnut pony for 50,000 gold. 50,000 gold is not that hard to get. Even early game, you can probably get this by Mushu, and this mount will help you through the literal entire rest of the game, so you don't need to walk around on your feet. I didn't know this originally when I was playing 10 years ago, but if I did, you know, I wouldn't have bought mounts with the crowns, because there's no reason to buy mounts with the crowns unless you want their looks, specifically just because you can buy it with gold. So those are two tips that I think will really help you significantly. Now I'm going to go over some minor tips that'll definitely help you in the future. So first off, marking your location. Marking your location saves so much time. So for example, right in the beginning of the game, you have to go to the very end of the street to Lady Oriole, and after Lady Oriole you need to come back to Sarah Nightchance. So if you leave a mark there, you walk all the way to Lady Oriole. Instead of having to walk all the way back, you can just teleport to Unicorn Way and you go back. Even high-level players, I don't see using marks enough in this game. I think it's just very easy to forget about. And if you get into the habit of leaving them, it'll save you definitely a lot of time walking that, you know, definitely is useful. So there's that. Next, I'm going to be talking about getting dragged into a battle. Now, if you... trying to think of how to phrase this. If you have been walking around, it's doubtless that you've been dragged into a battle at some point in your life. At some point in life, you got dragged into a battle that you didn't want. And obviously, there's ways around this. You either kill the enemies or you flee. Now, I'd like to say that there is another option that's actually incredibly useful for you. So say I didn't want to get dragged in this battle, right? I'm like, oh, damn, I don't want to go into this battle. So I press escape quit. I press play, and I immediately start walking backwards, and boom, I'm out of the battle. No repercussions, no mana, no health drain. That's it. This tip, when I was live streaming, a lot of actual old players didn't know about this either. But it's incredibly useful simply because it saves a lot of time that you would have either had to spend getting mana and then walking back, or having to actually do the battle itself. Now, be wary. There are some spaces where you will be dragged multiple times when you press play. But it is possible if you just keep pressing escape, quit, and play, eventually you'll get out of the cycle. But sometimes, honestly, it's better to just flee. But that is definitely a useful tip on slow walking enemies and certain enemies in the game that will be much easier to just avoid altogether. So there's that. The only real other thing I want to mention, I'd say, is probably pet training, because this is incredibly useful for newer players to the game, because they probably won't understand how useful pets are. Pets in this game are one of the main ways to get certain stats. For example, this pet isn't even that good, but if this pet had dealer, which gives 9% damage, it would give me an extra 18% damage, and 18% damage is a lot of damage, a lot of damage. So that's why it's imperative that you get a good pet, because a good pet, even one that just has one of these stats, can help you significantly. Spell proof, 10% resist is a lot, 9% damage is a lot. So I implore you, if you need to save up a bunch of gold, come over here, search for dealer, and that's not how you spell dealer, and then giver, right, of your respective school, and then search for all these talents and find a pet that's useful for you. It will cost a lot of gold, but once you hatch it, this pet will last you the entire game, right? If you get a good pet, even if you get a bad pet, as long as it's better than your old pet, it'll still last you a long time. And the reason why I'm telling you to do this at a lower level is because in a recent update, they made it so that every quest gives plus four pet XP, right? So that alone will train up that pet a significant amount. In Chrysalis by itself, there's 200 quests, which means that there will be 800 pet XP just from Chrysalis, right? And 800 is enough to get from epic to almost mega, or like halfway to mega, right? So there's that. The second thing I want to mention, and this is incredibly important for training pets, is that every time you level up, your energy goes to full. So if you go to Pet Pavilion, train your pet up, which, by the way, I recommend doing the dance game and completing enough until you can skip the game, which is 25 times. It'll take a bit of time to do that, but once you do that, it'll save so much time because you can just skip it, right? So train up your pet as much as you can, go quest, level up, and then come back to Pet Pavilion, train your pet up. Then you run out of energy, go back to questing, right? And you just keep repeating the cycle. And some days I get, 10 levels in one day of questing or more. I mean, there's been times when I've definitely gotten from like level 15 to 35 or something in one day because I just quested myself up. That's 20 levels of energy, which is a lot of energy. So that's really it. I just wanted to give those tips. If you're a newer player and you didn't know any of these and you found them useful, let me know. If you're an older player and you didn't know any of them, also let me know. But let me know if you found this useful. And also, if you have any tips, leave them in the comments below. I know the reason why I make videos like this is because as a new player, I would have wanted this. There are some tips and tricks that I didn't even know about, like marking location I never used to do, quitting out of battles and pressing play again I never used to do. All of these things would have been incredibly helpful as a kid. So hopefully they were helpful to you. But that's it for today. If you enjoyed, drop a like, hit the sub button, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a fantastic day. Thank you all for watching.